The year was 1979, and all the world was caught up in disco and Star Wars. But in Louisville, something was happening. A young entrepreneur named Ben had a vision to be the best record store in all of the city. Fast forward to 2023, and Better Days Records is still going strong. Still, after all these years, owned by the same guy. We have had some trips and falls along the way, but so does life, and Better Days is here to stay. With two awesome locations at 921 Barrett Avenue and at 2600 West Broadway, Better Days are surely in your future.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mudhorn for August 2023 here on the Flamekeeper Network. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, host of the Metal Forge, Mark Jackson. Today is another double feature. We picked two terrible movies to make each other watch. I'm not going to divulge those right now, but you can probably see it on the thumbnail what they are. But so before we get started, want to remind everyone that we are on patreon.com/flamekeeper or flamekeeper.vip will take you to the same address. You can sign up for different tiers, get you some perks like early access, pre-sales to like festivals we put on, CDs, other stuff, etc., etc. So if you're interested and can spare $1 or $2 or up to $5, we would appreciate it. And it just goes to paying the bills for some of these video subscription apps or video editors or stuff like that. So
website addresses and flyers and promotional material for the most part.
Yeah.
And hello everybody. I'm Mark Jackson,
yes,
host of the
Mark Jackson,
co-host of the Mudhorn here.
All right, so like I said, you can tell by the thumbnail what this is. We picked a terrible movie for each other to watch that we'd never seen. I actually had never seen the one I picked for Mark. So I'm going to let him go first since he is the guest. And I picked Kindergarten Cop 2 for him.
Am I a guest at this point, or am I an actual bona fide co-host?
Well, whoever's the host is, I guess, the other person's the guest. So,
okay.
I mean, I treated you like a redheaded stepchild when I told you Kindergarten Cop 2. So let's hear it, Mark. Let's hear all about Kindergarten Cop 2. Now, the only thing I have about this movie in reference point is I watched the YouTube trailer. And that was enough for me. So I'm looking forward to seeing what was in between everything else, because it looked terrible in a terrible kind of way.
Okay, so Kindergarten Cop 2, the only person's name that I even remotely know in this film is Dolph Lundgren.
Bill Bellamy was on Yo MTV Raps back in the 90s.
So, yeah. Yes. But I didn't even look up anybody else from this film.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give some premise here. Obviously, this is a very late sequel to a 90s film.
Yeah. Classic film, by the way.
Yeah, a very, very 90s classic film. The original Kindergarten Cop came out in 1990. It was in that turning point where Arnold started doing family-friendly comedy films instead of all the 80s action killer just all the crazy 80s action that he did. So he started doing, his 90s action is a little bit different. It's more, like I said, it's more family-friendly action. Like True Lies, I think, is you can watch that with the 13-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too racy, except for Jamie Lee in the Fiend, but still, it's not like she's, yeah. But anyway, so I believe this came out in was it 2013 or some shit? I will tell you this. This is how much I am so uninvested in this film. Is I did not even look up anything to when it came out. I just know it came out in the 2000s.
Right.
So, premise of the film is a hacker who is a kindergarten teacher, steals the witness relocation files from the FBI. He somehow is involved with an Eastern European mob and turns on the mob and dies in a car crash inadvertently. And so he's a hacker kindergarten teacher that does this. And they're looking for a flash drive that they think has the info on there. Okay. In this amount of time, you know, I don't know. Agent fucking He-Man here fucking like goes out to thwart his fucking criminal, you know, which is a cartel leader from some second, third world country, which is super stereotypical of the 80s genre action film, you know, like we've got to fly to Colombia and take out Valdez, you know, fucking that shit, right?
Yeah.
Also, you know, it's like they're a dictator of the country too, or some fucking shit and everything. But the funny thing is like he's also inserted in. I don't know. It takes a long time to really get into the kindergarten cop story in this.
Right.
Like it's like half of a movie before
really?
he's
that long.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes in, and it is an extremely long fucking movie. Not just because I watched it on Tubi either. 6 commercials each break.
Yes.
You know, that you can't skip any. But no, it's like 45 minutes before he like goes to the school because of all of the like the big money catch the dads with the action at the beginning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you realize how terrible the fucking rest of the film is, you know, the wife's already invested and the kid's watching it and it's, oh my God. I just, you know, he's also, after he becomes the teacher, he's invested in kind of like a love triangle with a fat bald guy and a super hot nerdy kindergarten teacher next door that like turns into a supermodel when she lets her hair down.
It must be this picture on IMDb, the co-star Daria Taylor, because her picture is her in lingerie on a bed.
Yeah, probably it is.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that struck me is super weird. And anything, and let me just say this: anytime you feel like you hear something that's crazy, feel free to stop me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, there is this one scene that stood out to me, and call me triggered. I don't know, but it always has, between the two, it has some weird fucking like double entendre fucking shit for like fucking sex. It's like, so do you want to see how I really stay in shape? And he takes her fucking square dancing.
Yeah.
Square dancing.
Of course.
Like they're in fucking Seattle is where this takes place.
Yeah.
He takes her square dancing in Seattle and it's like, what the fuck? But no, there is one fucking weird fucking like one-liner thing in there where she fucking basically calls him a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. She's like, so why does a man your age have an interest in small children? And he's like, well, you know, and dude, his reply is straight up fucking like pervert. Fucking, he's like, good and why they're young, blah blah blah. Fucking, it's like no shit, dude. It is fucking creepy as fuck. So, anyways, square dancing, sex innuendos, and all that shit, you know. The partner ends up fucking, which I guess is Bill Bellamy, ends up getting fucking mugged by the cartel. Right. Mugged by a cartel, not killed,
not murdered,
mugged.
Yes.
And not only did they mug him and throw him out of the surveillance van that he is the only one in. That like, and this is the FBI, by the way.
Yeah.
That you know, it's just like, wow, the mob just is like throwing this dude aside. Like, he gets thrown out, mugged, fucking, and just so they can rob him of the van so they can find out the plan.
Yes.
Like, find out the info. So, he ends up getting mugged. The cartel ends up fucking stealing the van. They they find out about like where the flash drive is, and they're all looking for it. And he's like, "Oh, it's a riddle. Blah blah blah. Each one spells the thing of like the first. It's like an acronym, like ASCAP, American Society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
Like the riddle spelled the thing is where he was hiding the flash drive. This hacker kindergarten teacher that died in a car wreck.
Right.
So the cartel end up finding out the plan too, just as they find out where the flash drive is. Oh my God, no, no. Agent He-Man has really got to have something up his sleeve. Go take her, you only need me. Shit like that going on. And this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. I suffered through this horrible fucking piece of shit for fucking that shit.
For you people.
Yeah, right. So anyway, this could not be more ridiculous. I could never make up,
Yeah.
like whoever wrote this, I want them writing episodes of the Metal Forge.
Dude, people get paid for this shit.
Yeah, I know. And it's like a real fucking niche business to get into. So anyway, fucking as they're fucking sitting there, fucking the one piece of knowledge that Agent He-Man, kindergarten teacher He-Man, explains and teaches the kids is about Trojan horses.
Mm-hmm.
And so they find out that the dude was hiding the flash drive in a time capsule that was going to be buried. So they get it. And then he's like, let the kids go. Right. So they let the kids go, and they go fucking 50 feet down the fucking park and climb into fucking fish hanging that are like playthings. And they sneak out at the right time and beat the fucking cartel leader with fucking sticks.
Oh, a la Endor?
Yes.
Yeah.
With fucking sticks. And the fat guy drops an elbow drop. The fat bald guy, so he's like, "Hey baby, did you see my elbow drop?" And he makes like reference to it like 3 more times.
Yes.
I mean, then the main villain runs down through the woods, and they get like the fucking Predator scene where it's like, like the fucking thing, and then fucking like Dolph Lundgren, fucking Agent He-Man, fucking kicks the dude's ass and leaves him in a creek, and he's just like, "Class is dismissed."
Of course, I knew that line would be in there.
And then, like, the whole fucking thing is in this, like, they've had this fucking asshole CEO, like, fucking, it's trying to play on the fucking, like, his partner, and I mean this in the most sensitive way possible, because it was a time where shit was I hate to say, a little more acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
The play on the humor kind of shit, like how like in Bad Boys with Joey Pants as their CEO, with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they kind of skirt that card play, that racism thing.
Yeah, they
kind of do it with this too, but it's like Agent He-Man's boss is black, and he's like, "Motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. Who the fuck is this? Who the fuck are you?" And all that shit. And it's just really off-putting the whole fucking time he's on screen, which is like 15 minutes through the whole film.
Right.
But he ends up having a fucking thing at the end of it too, where he's like, where he has the last line on the fucking school pun. Fucking, I can't remember what it was, but it was just like, it wasn't class dismissed. He was just, I don't know what he said, but the movie ends up where it's just like the nerdy teacher, fucking the nerd sexy teacher, falls in love with Agent He-Man, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking they kiss in front of the kids, and they're all like, "Ah!" And the principal basically fires him because she's like, that's strike 3. And it was just all this, dude, it was pretty fucking like, holy fuck. It was like a rat was running around in my brain.
Yes.
Because there were so many different fucking movies all rolled into one. This probably, if this was released in 1993, this probably would have been a great hit to go straight to video.
Right.
You know, it really would have. But fucking 2013 or 9
16.
or 7.
It was 16.
2016 even.
Yeah.
Fucking 26 years later. 26 years later from the original. That's probably got to be one of the most interesting fucking like deals like a sequel has ever been. Like, what's the longest gap in sequel history?
Maybe Blade Runner.
81
to 2019.
I'm thinking it's The Color of Money, actually.
Oh, okay.
From The Hustler to The Color of Money. I think it's that.
Okay.
There's one of them that was in like the 40s that came out, and it was the other one was in like the mid 80s. I know that. So I'm thinking that's what it was, but I could be wrong. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, if it were just a different, maybe in 2016 it would have been funny. I don't know. I doubt it, but I mean, in 1993, it probably would have worked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I have to say about it. I mean, it's Dolph Lundgren. I mean, he's a fucking molecular biologist or what the fuck ever he is, or chemist or some shit. I mean, he only does this to fucking spread awareness to his fucking charities. So it's like, I get why he does fucking jerk shit. I mean, but he's also been in a fuck ton of shit. You know, he's like literally like one of the hardest working people in fucking in and out of Hollywood, you would think, because he's been in like a fucking like 200 and something films.
Well, like I said last time we were talking about Command Performance, it's like the stuff that's like theatrical release or like with like a like top level talent is usually regarded as pretty good. It's just the shit that he does that he stars in is usually terrible stuff. So
right. And you know, and that's the bad thing is because like I think when he has a group of people that make him shine.
Yes.
Like Rocky IV, you know, he had Stallone to lean on, and Bridget Nielsen and all of that. And I think that really made him. And, you know, a funny little anecdote about that is when I was about 22 or 3, I had to have my wisdom teeth cut out because I had an impacted wisdom tooth. And they were going to give me the shots. And when they cut them out, and the fucking movie that when the doctor gave, or the oral surgeon gave me the remote, he said, "Here, find whatever you want. We'll be right back with the shots," was Rocky IV.
Nice.
So I had all 4 wisdom teeth cut out to Rocky IV, and I called the oral surgeon a motherfucker in his office that day.
When you're on anesthesia?
Well, it was the last shot, the one where they go through like the roof of your mouth that fucking feels like a chunk.
Oh, I see.
Like they're going through the cartilage. Yeah. So, honestly, I mean, I wouldn't give it a total dud. I mean, I don't believe in negative stars. It's probably got a thing out there for somebody. It is something that you could probably put on for your kids to if you needed a babysitter for fucking a couple of hours.
Right.
I mean, they would probably really not be into it, though. They'd be like, what the fuck is this, Grandma?
I do have a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Is the first film ever referenced in any way?
No.
Okay. Is the principal the same principal that was in Kindergarten Cop?
I don't know because I did not rewatch Kindergarten Cop. But
I think that lady's probably dead by now. She was pretty old back then, but
I don't think it was, because this one was crazy because what it was like it was kind of like like I said, it was 2016. Even though that was just 7 years ago, 7 years has been a lot of change.
Yeah,
Especially in our lives. But the thing that was like, what was really fucked about it was like, it was kind of like an alternative learning center where it's like sans classrooms. It's like you sit in like a learning space kind of thing.
right.
And it's just like, learning through communication skills and telling people how you feel type shit. And he's like, what is this crazy shit? Like he didn't say that, but like that's the gimmick that they were trying to throw out there.
Yeah, I got you. One last question. Did he get the Twix bar back when he shot the vending machine? Okay.
Yes.
When he pulled the gun on the vending machine, I was want to make sure I got that Twix bar because that was in the trailer.
I don't know if he got that Twix bar, but he did end up having a Twix bar. Yeah, you would have to just watch the film to get the Twix bar reference later on.
I'll take your word for it. Don't make me watch it next time we do this either.
You have to. No,
maybe I'll watch it one today. Yeah.
No, that's crossed off the list now. I can't pull that one on you anymore.
So I remember you were saying that you were wanting to go through Dolph's filmography. So here's one that you can cross off the list that you're that much.
God. If out of his like however many fucking screen credits there are, the rest of them are like this, I'm gonna just put my head in the deep fryer.
Yeah. So I do want to say, since we've reviewed two pretty mediocre, well, I would say mediocre to terrible Dolph Lundgren movies, the last two ALEHORNs, there is one that I do like that was kind of low budget that he did. Well, there's actually two of them, but the latest one is called Skin Trade. It's kind of with like a B movie all-star cast. It's got like Tony Jaa and Michael Jai White and Peter Weller, Ron Perlman, who can be hit or miss a lot of times. That one's pretty decent.
Yeah. So. My favorite line from anything Ron Perlman has ever been in is, "Ah, man, Earth, what a shithole."
That's Alien Resurrection.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, he was great in Hellboy 1 and 2. Man, I have to say, those are
absolutely. And for all intents and purposes, I really do like. I really like the David Harbour Hellboy 2.
I never watched it because I'm such a Ron Perlman Hellboy purist. But I heard it got a lot of slack, but it actually looked like it was like kind of decent, really.
Yeah.
I have HBO subscribed right now. Maybe I should check that out if it's on there.
You should. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's total good stuff.
Yeah. So
let's hear about okay, here's the other thing that gets me too.
Yeah.
Is it was beautifully shot. It was amazingly shot.
It was by Universal, dude. I mean, they have money.
So. Yeah, that's the thing. It was a Universal fucking picture. It is like high fucking dollar.
Yeah.
But dude, this is the shit that is going to be released coming in like September and shit. When the writers go back or don't go back for fucking sweep season.
Yeah.
Take care of your fucking writers and actors. Goddamn. Or else we get shit like Kindergarten Cop 2.
We get Kindergarten Cop 3 with Chuck Norris.
Oh my God. Roadhouse. Every time I see that, I think about that where it's just like the roundhouse kick and Peter Griffin going Roadhouse. So I have actually seen the film but it's been years since I've seen it. I've only seen it like twice.
Yeah. Oh wow, twice. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
I mean, because it does have a cult reference to it. It does have a cult it does have a cult fan base now.
Yeah.
Because it was something that somebody saw on morning fucking television or late night television, and then they fucking found the rights to it and fucking re-released it.
Yeah.
So the film in question is Samurai Cop.
Yeah. So let me start from the beginning here. When you told me this, I was like, okay, I'll watch this because I'm a sucker for like terrible movies every once in a while. It's not really anything I would like to do, but I will because I just like getting a good laugh. So I'm not gonna say I am a film expert by any means, but I did shoot and kind of half-ass edit our music video. So I kind of like learned a lot about just stuff like basic shit. You know, nothing like lighting or anything like that. It's just like the most basic of basic stuff I learned off our music video. And watching this fucking movie, dude, I was like, what in the fuck is going on with this movie? Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, dude, they'll have like a shot that's totally different film stock, lighting, like just everything, and like they'll just like insert it. Like, it's just like two people standing looking. And like these people will be talking and they'll just cut over to these two that does not match whatsoever. And they'll just be standing there looking and shit. It's like the most bizarre 90 minutes I've ever watched. Like,
yeah, and it almost makes you feel like it's a porno. Like in the 70s.
They have the porn music. As I was telling you when we cut in, like I watched this in 3 segments. Every time like one of the so-called female leads was naked, I stopped it. Because it was like, this looks like a good stopping point.
Got too excited.
No, not even that. It's just like, dude, I can't take any more of this. Like, let's end on a good note tonight, you know. But it's like,
yeah, it's a pretty good note.
But no, it's just like, dude, like the dialogue, the choreography of the fights, just like the acting, it's all like it's just so bad. I was like, I couldn't believe this is even made. But there's a few spots I want to point out. One is this guy is a samurai, some self-proclaimed samurai, dude. He's not a samurai. Like the definition of samurai is like totally different with this guy. He just like calls himself samurai cop, and he's like, yeah, I'm a samurai. It's like, no, dude, you're a fucking dipshit. But so there's one part when they're driving around in a marina, like really slow. And like the chick flying the helicopter like spots the blue van, and they're driving like maybe 10 miles an hour, and she says, I found it. And dude, they stop the car and the fucking brakes are squealing, like they're driving so fast, and like the wheels are spinning while the brake sound's going. There'll be times where they shoot people, and like one guy will like have like paintball bullets shot at him, and the guy next to him who also gets shot, there's nothing. He just falls over, you know. There was one part where he like unleashed his samurai sword and threw it, and it just bounced off the fucking truck behind them, and they just like left it. Shit like that. There was one part where he was like in the hospital, like questioning a witness, and the nurse pulled the cop out and just asked if he was circumcised.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
And he's like, would you like to find out or whatever? It's such a fucking bizarre fucking film. Yeah.
Dude, the fucking black cop, I don't know how they did a joke like twice. Like, he's like, man, the chief's gonna burn my ass, and the other guy's like, man, your ass is already black, remember? And it's like they just like high five, you know, the guy, and then they did it again for some reason. Like 20 minutes later, they did the same exact joke. Like, yeah, dude, it's so fucking bizarre, dude. I can't even believe like this shit was like even made.
Well, the fucked up thing about it is, because I believe it is made by the same people. It's almost like a Cannon's Picture scenario.
I mean, if it was Canon Pictures, I think it might have been a little bit better. That's not
no, because a lot of Canon shit's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, Cyborg is a Canon production. It's, you know, it is what it is.
Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Is as much as I love that film, it is garbage.
Well, I'll say Masters at least tried and put effort into like some of the lore and stuff. It's just like I think they fucked up when it went to Earth. Like if they just stayed on Eternia the whole time, I think it would have been a much better movie.
Probably. Yeah, I agree.
But and then also they ran out of when they ran out of money the last fight, and just the fight was like super lame. Kind of like Samurai Cops was very lame, but
I don't mind the fight scene actually, because I was a kid. That's what they were fucking supposed to do. They were supposed to fucking sword fight, and they did. I mean, so I got what I wanted, you know, cash out. Cash me out.
The final fight in Samurai Cop was somewhat pretty crappy too. Like I like that they spent like 2 minutes like swinging swords in weird ways that no trained swordsman would ever spin a sword. Like there was one point where he just like the guy who played Samurai Cop just like walked up like with the sword like upside down and just like stared at the guy, and the guy was just like swung it like in weird like an oval for some reason, and like the other guy just like turned his sword around and then went to the other guy who swung it like some fucking weird direction.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what in the
It's
fuck
like
is
you
going
could
on?
tell
Yeah.
there was no choreography. Nobody knew how to use.
Yeah,
a
and like
fucking
this other
katana.
guy was also a samurai, because at the end he killed himself honorably like a samurai, even though there's no way he could be a samurai because he never served in the Japanese army. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
yeah, it's like, dude, what, this shit is fucking crazy. Like it's the classic what you would say like cultural appropriation gone wrong. Like you
Oh
know,
yeah.
it was like super sexist, like somewhat racist with the your black ass jokes. You know, it was very chauvinistic, just stuff like that, you know. But it was the times, and like I told you, man, like it took me back to like watching HBO like 2 a.m. when I first got cable when I was like, you know, like 14 or 15, hoping to see like a set of titties. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, why that's the only reason why you were watching like HBO or Cinemax that early in the mornings, because you knew there was a good chance, you know. It was like some like some kind of like Cynthia Rothrock movie or something. You knew it was a pretty much guarantee if you just wait about 20 minutes, you know, you were good to go. And this had
Right.
that vibe, which actually kind of took me back to my childhood a lot. Like I could see myself watching this with my dad way back when and just like laughing at how stupid and shitty this movie was. By the way, recording today is his birthday. It would have been 70, so there's that. But yeah, this movie was like kind of like a joy to watch, and also so fucking hard to get through. Like one sitting. Like, dude, I don't know if someone had a gun on me and told me I had to watch it in one sitting, dude. I might have just told him about 45 minutes in, like, hey, let's just go ahead and get this over with, dude. It's pretty
You
bad.
know, honestly, this is if you just cut out like the crude humor of like the circumcision joke and the titties, even the whole black ass thing would probably have made it on 90s morning television.
Yeah.
Like your local Fox affiliate that fucking played fucking garbage B movies at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that was all they had the rights to, you know, they didn't have their own shows and shit then. Yeah, but they would totally have played something like this in the fucking early 90s. I think that's how I saw They Live, by the way. Was a fucking like a weekday movie at like 9 in the morning when I was and it was when I was homesick, actually.
Yeah, I remember the one with Roddy Piper, right? They Live.
Yeah, They Live, yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean,
Roderick Toombs, yeah.
Yeah, but it made me feel like really good about my I guess you could call like I don't know, cinematography abilities for our music video, because like, dude, it like actually like was pretty consistent all the way through. But like I said, this has shit like it's different film stock. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised they just borrowed shit from other movies and just edited it in to fit, because it was like kind of jarring sometimes, like how different the film looked. Yeah, just like a 1 second scene, you know.
Well, apparently the thing about it was like in the deluxe edition that came out.
There's a deluxe edition.
Yeah, there is actually, because like I said, this actually does have some like cult fan base now.
Is it like a director's cut or something, or?
No, because he's dead. No, it was directed by Amir Shervin, and that was actually his last film, and he retired after that. And they say under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
But he lived until 2006. But like apparently he had like some really fucked up business practice shit. Like that's where I said it's like the whole thing was like Golan Globus from Canon Pictures. Yeah. It was kind of like that same thing. He was a Middle Eastern businessman in the film industry kind of shit. Fucking like they almost all released like fucking like grindhouse trash films.
Yeah.
You know, fucking shit that's like, you know, in the 70s, it would be like borderline fucking X-rated porn type shit, but like horror, where you would really question if it was like found footage or not.
Right.
But yeah, so in that they talk about how, like, I believe how he like stole shit from other fucking filmmakers, and like would like they would fucking, he would walk up on like their film shoots, and fucking like when they weren't around, he would fucking like steal shit from their shoot and fucking.
Oh, wow,
so that's probably why the film stock is different.
Yeah, I mean, it's like just like bizarre. Like these people would show and like the other film stock, but they never showed up in the movie anywhere else. It was just like these two scenes, and the scene was like the exact same. They just like cut it in, and like these people had nothing to add. It was just like, why even bother? Like it was just two random people.
The one that stands out to me, I don't know if it is in if it's in the hospital scene at the beginning, or if it's in like the police station scene where they're walking through the office, and the office looks like a piece of fucking plexiglass nailed to a fucking piece of fucking plywood.
Yeah.
And it flashes white and then yellow and then white again, or yellow. It's either yellow and then white and then yellow again, or fucking like white, yellow, and white again. It's like it fucking like flashes like three times.
Yeah, I know the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's just like, what the fuck? And like the blocking is terrible in the film. Yeah. The fucking just like, dude, it honestly reminds me of, like I said, that whole 70s fucking grotesque fucking grindhouse genre.
Yeah. There's also one scene I remember. It was the first night I watched, so it's in the first 30 minutes because I broke up in 30-minute segments. There's a part where like him and the black cop are talking, and they're like, it looks like they're like 100 feet away, but the volume on the voices is like right in your face.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck is going on with this movie?
I love that. The sound in that fucking film is so terrible, especially when like music's playing. Like there's the scene where he's running across the yard, and it's like, and it's like super fucking loud, and like you get the white noise in with it too. It's like, oh
yeah. There's another funny line too. When the black cop, after the second burnt ass joke happened, the blonde helicopter pilot, who was the first nude girl in the movie, I guess is the best way to describe her. They were at a house with like some random cop, and the guy was like saying like, man, Chief might just cut my dick off this time. And then she was like, you should come over to my house. He's like, what for? And she's like, well, you know what they say, you got to use it before you lose it. And then he was like, oh, that's, yeah, okay, and then like they ran off, and then like she turns around to the other guy's like, hey, we ain't doing nothing. You want to fuck? And the guy's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
This script writer is amazing.
Now, so that came out in 1991.
Yes.
In 2015, there was a sequel released with Matt Hannon returning as the samurai cop.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick. I don't know if I'll ever get around to watching that, because like I don't know if it's gonna be as bad as this one, but
it is Samurai Cop 2: Deadly Vengeance. It came out in 2015, and it was produced by an Indiegogo Kickstarter campaign.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Tommy Wiseau is in it as Litten Katana. Dude, you should totally watch the trailer for it and then see how fucking ridiculous this one is too.
It says it's TV 14, so it's not the violence and
I don't think there's no nudity.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's got a 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb, so let's see. Is the black cop in it again, or
no? I think he's dead, actually.
Okay. There was one part where the guy was like, someone's like, yeah, he committed suicide, and that guy just like started laughing. I was like, dude,
yeah,
what the hell? It's like the most like 90s movie. Like it was like a little bit too late. Like it should have been 80s, a mid 80s movie, the way they we're just so blatant about just everything, but it just made it.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, man. This is a fun segment deal. So like in the end of everything, you know, how fucking like I love American trash cinema
Yes.
so much because, you know, you find out like-minded artists that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I don't know. There's some really good ones out there. There's some really gemstone pieces. And that brings up to me, like, so I was watching another film the other day, and this is kind of a thing. Like, so, you know, the 80s had a great animated genre film set too.
Yeah.
Like things like Heavy Metal, Akira, Fire and Ice, Rock and Rule, you know, all of that stuff, right? So I ultimately believe that some of these 80s and maybe even early 90s action films, had they actually had the funding to be a animated film, they probably would have done a whole lot better.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, real quick, the guy who played the black cop, his name is Mark Fraser. He is in Samurai Cop too.
Yes, Frank Washington, yes. But yeah, so overall, how do you rate?
I mean, if I had to give it, how many stars are we going? 1 to 10, 1 to 5?
5. Fuck
Five.
this 10-star rating.
I would give
shit.
it. I would give it a 2.
Okay.
Only because it's so entertaining in a bad way that it does have value in it, even though it's so fucking terrible.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about Kindergarten Cop too. You know, I mean, you could definitely, maybe not Samurai Cop, but you could definitely put it on if you want to kill an hour and a half of your time.
Did you pick Samurai Cop because I picked Kindergarten Cop? Because I didn't realize
No.
now we just picked 2 cop movies.
No, I didn't actually.
Okay.
I mean, I maybe did subconsciously, but you know, maybe because you had said Kindergarten Cop 2. It's like, well, fine, you could watch Samurai
Fuck you,
Cop.
Samurai Cop.
Yeah, it could have been like that.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I mean, thanks for wasting 90 minutes of my life, kind of, but not really, you know.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I do have a film for your next one.
Go for it.
Remo Williams. The Story Begins.
I think I've seen that.
With Fred Ward.
Let me watch the trailer and tell you. I think I have seen that.
Okay.
Yeah. I got one for you. I got yours. Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
No, you already gave me mine.
Oh, did I? What was it?
Oh, no. I already gave you yours. Yours isn't Remo Williams.
What is it?
I wrote yours down the other day. Split Second.
With Rutger Hauer?
Yes.
Dude, I love that movie. That's an HBO movie. Yeah, man, that's a good movie.
You've already seen it. Okay.
Yeah, that was like Kim Cattrall's like first starring role. She went on later to become Is
that the one where he cuts the dude in half?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, I think so. But
where he's blind?
No, that's the dude's blind or the Rutger Hauer's blind.
Rutger Hauer.
No, he's not blind. That's the one. I know which one you're talking about. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Blind Fury?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, Split Second's actually really good, man. I actually like that movie.
I remember Blind Fury because the little kid was fucking with him on the bus.
Uh-huh.
And like I think he gave him the kid like was fucking with him, like he gave him a rock instead of a piece of candy, right. And then he fucking spits it out in the kid's face and hits him in the head with it and shit. And
sounds familiar. Like, I think I've seen that, yes.
Yeah.
Well, right there is down for you. It's Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Where's my fucking pen?
And then whenever you think of mine, just let me know. I will be ready.
Go ahead with Remo Williams.
Okay, Remo Williams. The Adventure Begins. Got you. Who's in that? Because I think I'm almost positive I have seen this.
Who is in it is Fred Ward and Diabetes, Wilford Brimley.
Oh, Wilford Brimley's in it. Nice.
Yeah,
And he was good
and
in a Hard Target.
huh?
Thing, of course. He was good in the Hard Target, the Van Damme movie, and also the
Oh
Thing,
yeah,
of course. Yeah.
these might be some cool ideas to do some exclusive episodes on too.
Yeah, we could. Well, are we done? Are we done with the bad stuff? Or the
Oh God, that was just the bad stuff. I thought we went through some good
no,
stuff.
I want to take the time to tell everyone watching, all both of you or nobody at all. I don't know. So there's this movie or there's a show on HBO that I'm a really big fan of that came back on called Warrior. It's like an old lost Bruce Lee script that his daughter actually got made, obviously for modern times, and it's so it's like a mix of like kung fu, Deadwood, The Godfather, and maybe like that's probably the best three to describe it as. So
Excellent.
it's dude, it's about this immigrant who comes over from China in the 1878, I think, the late 1870s to San Francisco, and obviously is during the gold rush. So the Chinese labor is like, it's kind of like they're kind of like the Mexicans nowadays. It's people like,
I know what
Mexicans
yeah.
taking my job, blah 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 blah. But it's in the 1870s. Yeah,
right, because they built the railroads,
exactly. So
and
but
unfortunately, a lot of it was
this guy
slave
gets
labor.
the guy gets tangled up in in Chinatown in between gang wars. So he has interest in one gang and also the other. So he's kind of torn. But it's the surrounding characters in this show that I really like. So like there's like an Irish mob boss who's like a total brute. I mean, like he just like destroys everybody and likes fighting and stuff. Like he's just like really hard to put down. And like there's a lot of cool contrast of lifestyles and cultures and like even like a lot of racism, because like it or not, in like TV shows, racism is good drama. I'm not saying you have to condone it. I'm just saying for entertainment purposes, it's fucking great for storytelling. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that, and
like I said, the Joey Pants, Martin Lawrence, Will Smith dynamic. Yeah.
But if you haven't watched this show or ever heard of it, you should check it out. It's pretty fucking phenomenal, dude. The choreography is amazing. Like it's all really high end kung fu stuff like that. Like I said, it was a Bruce Lee script that he was gonna star in himself, but obviously he didn't make it.
Right.
So the guy they got, his name is Andrew Koji, and this dude is pretty fucking badass, man. Like he's pretty amazing.
Interesting. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah, dude, it is very worth. So they just ended season 3. Hopefully it gets renewed for season 4. So there's three seasons, 10 episodes each on the HBO streaming site right now. I think it's called Max now. So if you want something really worthwhile and to watch, do check out Warrior. If you're a little squeamish on violence, there's a lot of parts you probably have to close your eyes. But if you like good story and like really badass kung fu and like knife fights and like just nunchucks and just stuff like that, definitely check it out. It's very worth your time. I can't recommend it enough. It might end up being my favorite show when it's all said and done.
Really interesting. I'm so far behind on any of that stuff. I'm too busy doing metal stuff, and I really have neglected my my series stuff. The only thing that I still like relatively do on a regular basis is I do watch some of the Pixel Dan videos. Actually, I watch mostly Pixel Dan videos on YouTube. Obviously, the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal page on there, and all of that to keep the ear to the ground with the new music and stuff. But also, Randy Santel, Win Before You Begin, Atlas Entertainment, like in the competitive food eater, 1,100 and something, almost 1,200 food victories over like 15 years or something. And his girlfriend Katina, from Katina Eats Kilos. Yeah. So it's good stuff, dude, because they're eating like 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 pounds of food. There was one where he ate 10 pounds of fucking like porterhouse.
Damn, that's a lot. I mean, I could do a pound steak pretty much no problem, but that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it was 160 ounces. It's like, fuck, dude, that is ridiculous. And he actually did it less the bone weight. You know?
The reason I wanted to bring up Warriors because, like I said, fall's coming up and, it gets darker earlier and cold and shitty outside. So if everyone needs a really good time suck, 30 hours as we speak now, this is worth just a month subscription to knock it out and maybe a few other things on there. And then, just bring it up again if it gets renewed. I don't know if it will or not because nobody really talks about this show for some reason. But yeah, it's really fucking outstanding, man, to me.
That's a cool idea. Diamond in the Rough shows, and you said something about this one, and I think this is my thing with like Breaking Bad and stuff too, and Better Call Saul. Is the secondary characters really make the show?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I mean, the main guy is like kind of boring. I mean, he's just kind of like doesn't really say much, soft spoken. I'm not gonna go too much more into it, but he's not like the most.
I get what you're saying.
It's like everyone else around him, and the way they pull and tug on him, his emotions and loyalties and stuff like that is what really is interesting. But I will say, when he fights, though, it is something to see because this dude is pretty goddamn awesome. Like wow, this guy is sort of nothing short of amazing. Like, it's not like Jackie Chan stuff where it's like over the top shit. Like, it's seriously like really like
it's like
really realistic looking and like hard hitting. Like every hit hurts. Like you can just like tell like that would really fucking hurt. It's not like a bunch of flurries and stuff. I mean, it's like there's blood flying. There's blood flying in the first hit. When he hits someone.
Right. And that's one of the things I will say that I do think that was given good care in like Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
The non-enhanced humans, like the ones that are not mutants or they don't have special abilities or anything.
Right.
I seriously believe that like they did handle them like regular people. And
I haven't watched that yet, actually. I need to
I think they do that in a lot of films though.
Yeah.
Where they don't, it's not like all chaos where, Tom, Dick, and Harry and Captain America are all standing there fighting. It's not. It's just Captain America, So
Gotcha.
Yeah, which I do like that most shows do that. So
right. Well, I sent you a link to they have the first episode on YouTube, so I sent you a link.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, so if anybody else wants it, you can watch the first episode on YouTube. Decide for yourself. I'm pretty sure you'll be hooked up to the first episode. I mean, it never really lets up in quality at all.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Like I said, Game of Thrones was awesome too until about season 6. This has been awesome from minute 1 to the last minute that they aired. So, if you just like really good drama or just really good shows, period, this is it. I would say it's the next Deadwood, even though the movie was disappointing. Because it was like very rushed. The show Deadwood itself was one of my favorites too.
Right. Yeah, I've heard the movie was not. It was. I never actually watched the show.
It was really rushed, man. Like the movie it should have just been like a short season. Yeah.
Right. Which I think ultimately that's ultimately the bane of any film company's deal is like. What sucks about it is that you have something really good and it goes really good for like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, the money starts happening.
Yeah.
The money issues and then the fucking writer burnout and everything else. And then like usually the last 2 seasons of anything for the most part suck.
Well, I'll tell you what I've noticed here since streaming has kind of become the norm. So like a lot of people like to just wait for stuff to be done and watch it all at once. The problem is when you do that, they're like, well, nobody's watching this shit, so let's cancel it. So you never even you never get to watch it, or B, it never gets resolved, which really sucks. I can see it happening for this show because, like I said, nobody talks about it. And I really hope they resolve it in season 4 and just call it good, so it doesn't get canceled for season 5, and the stories aren't wrapped up. Like I said, Game of Thrones, it was really good. So they ran out of source material. Once they ran out of source material, that shit went off the rails fucking quick as hell, man. It was so disappointing. Deadwood was another one that got canceled early. They did the movie to try to finish it up, but it just wasn't the same because like too much time had passed. Like the interest was gone. There was another show I called Rome that was really good. 2 seasons done, never resolved. Breaking Bad was the rare exception and Saul that got finished and wrapped up. Walking Dead, after like season 3, it sucked because it was
I'm
just
gonna
like
disagree on Breaking Bad. Yeah, it got wrapped up, but I still think it was terrible.
Really?
I think it was enough wrapped up when Gus was gone.
Okay, I mean, everyone can agree to disagree. I thought it was awesome all the way through, but
I really didn't like the last season. It was just too skeevy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I can handle like Mexican drug cartels and, Italian mob and Irish mob and shit.
But when the white supremacists come in, that was it.
But when you bring in the fucking Nazis and the fucking rednecks, that's where I draw the fucking line.
They make good villains, man. I mean, they really do make good villains. Like I said, I don't condone racism, but racism makes good drama in TV shows.
Yeah, I know. But then there was that Matt Damon motherfucker, and it's like the whole fucking like, I don't know. It just sometimes it feels like it hits a little too close to home.
Well, you're up there in the 3%er country, so maybe that's why you didn't like it. Yeah.
I did not say that. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Come at me. I met John Schaefer once.
Yeah, he's getting sentenced here soon.
I heard it was like next February or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's other ones too. Into the Badlands was one that I kind of enjoyed. Got canceled on AMC. There's a couple more that like I was into and they canceled it. That's why I just quit watching them until they're like almost done.
The Better Call Saul thing, the last like 6 episodes, I don't think necessarily made any difference to the show.
I would say the Breaking Bad lore overall, I would say El Camino was probably the one that didn't need to exist and wouldn't have changed anything. But
oh no. Well, the only thing that I'm glad that did happen with El Camino is Jesse did escape.
Yeah.
So I mean, you do find that out at the end of Breaking Bad, but like you find out that he actually does do the right thing and gets out of everything.
Right.
Quick
note also in Westworld, Skylar actually plays is a character in Westwood too. Or not Westwood.
Now, see, I've never actually watched Westworld the show, but I've seen the movie.
No, not Westworld, Deadwood. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't watch Westwood because I was waiting to see if it got done, and B, when they took it away and tried to make it too philosophical from just like robots trying to kill people in a Western theme park, it just kind of made me disinterested because that's really what I wanted to see was robots killing people in a Western theme park. Because funny enough, not too far from me, there used to be a Western theme park it's called Ghost Town, and you would go and it was this Western town with like actors, and they would just like have shootouts and shit in the street, or just stuff like that, people walking around like Western gear. It was really like kind of cool when I was a kid. They would have like rides.
But would they do this in the middle of the day and like
during park hours? Yeah.
Like they would just shoot each other out in the middle of the day, like
dude, there would be people
spilling out. Caribbean.
There would be people spilling out from bars, actors, and they would duel each other and shit. And they would use like really loud cap guns, with the smoke coming out of the 6-shooter. And like one guy would just like fall over, and he would have like a blood pack. And like when he fell, the blood pack would go off. It looked like a shot. There would be people like riding through on horses with like wagons and shit. It was it was really fucking cool. It was called Ghost Town in the Sky. You could take a chairlift, or you could take a rail that went up this fucking mountain. there's videos on YouTube of it abandoned. People will go up there and
Oh,
walk
okay,
around.
okay. No, see, I was thinking like you could walk on the street with them and doing that shit.
I mean, they would do it around you, but yeah, they would like have people kind of come out like in character, like whoa everybody, and like block the area off so they could do like this the skit. But it felt real because like it was just like it was like really random times that shit would happen. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
They would have dudes like in wagons, like locked up, like going to a jail cell, and like they would like reach out and be like, "Hey, man, grab the keys," and like they would talk to the people on the street that were walking around. But it was like you were like in a western town. It was like the theme of it was a park.
See, I love shit like that.
Yeah, it was really cool, especially when you're 10 years old. You think it's awesome.
Place and reopen it.
Yeah, dude, people have tried. It's still talked about quite often that, oh yeah, this billionaire bought this land, is going to reopen it, blah, 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 but nothing ever happens with it. I don't know why, because I mean, Maggie Valley is a pretty big tourist destination around here. Like it's very like touristy. I mean, everything is like souvenir shop kind of shit, So yeah, that's the kind of town it is. It's a tourist trap, Joe's Pancake House won best pancakes 25 years in a row. Stop here, buy three pancakes, get the fourth one free, shit like that. So yeah, shit like that. But yeah, like I heard the Star Wars hotel they had in Disney World was kind of like that too. Like you could actually like pick what faction you wanted. Like you could be Empire or Rebels, and they would like involve you like in a story. But the problem was, they wanted like $2,500 a fucking night, and the people who were scraping pennies to stay here, who are Star Wars fans, didn't stay because it's too damn expensive. So I think they actually shut it down or scaled way back. That shit sounded. I wanted to win the lottery so bad just to fucking stay there. Like I would have just like that'd been the first thing I did was book a flight and fucking stay there, and been fucking Empire and fucking kicked around some rebel scum.
And I would have stayed in the suite. But then they probably would have had the mannequin of Emperor Palpatine laying in bed.
Yeah. I want to be in the suite where that's like the throne room in Jedi. I want the suite that looks like the throne room in Jedi at the end. That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, with like the red bar.
Dude, that's my ultimate goal with my chair here. Is I want to recreate Palpatine's chair with my barber chair.
Yes.
In the Metal Forge.
Yeah.
So it has like that high back and fucking shit that you want this.
Yeah. He's like petting the hilt. He's like, yeah.
That actually has one of my my actual favorite line from any Star Wars film in that scene. Is where Luke and Palpatine are bickering back and forth, and Luke says to Palpatine, he goes, "Your overconfidence is your weakness," and without a fucking bat of an eye, fucking Palpatine turns around and says, "Your faith in your friends is yours."
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Fuck you, boy."
Yeah, that's good shit, man. So yeah, real quick too, the Ahsoka show starts actually next Tuesday now instead of Wednesday.
Yes.
Apparently they're moving the episodes to the night before so people can watch it at night without being spoiled at 4 a.m. in the fucking morning anymore, like all the other shows have been. So good job, Disney, on at least making it where everyone can watch it at a decent time without having to have it spoiled on their phone.
Why can't they just release it at 6 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon?
Dude, I don't know. Like, why can't people just like not write about it till like the next day?
Because they're cunts. That's
it's like, why do you have to give spoilers in the fucking title? I never understood that. It's like, this isn't really news. It's just like it's fucking fiction. We don't need to report it as news.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me started because I feel the same way about Metal Sucks and Metal Injection. And
that would be for the ALEHORN, but yes, we had
Brave Worlds and.
Yeah, we had a little discussion about that yesterday about someone took a picture of a band playing that had like 30 people, and it's like, well, first of all, is this a Monday? Is that the opening band maybe? Like, did they just start? People are outside smoking? Like, you can't just down people until you have all the facts. You know, once you if this was like a Friday, like New York City, yeah, let's laugh it up. But like, dude, if this is like a Monday and like fucking some like town outside Des Moines, Iowa.
You know what? No,
that's pretty
not
good.
laugh it up. Because if it was a fucking if it was a Friday in New York City and it was 30 fucking people, that's probably all that bar could fucking hold.
Could be, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just like, let's get the facts of everything before.
I mean, it's like, start making fun. That's what I think sucks, and we'll talk about that on an episode of either the Metal Forge or the ALEHORN. I'd like to start introducing topic episodes to the Metal Forge,
right?
After the Tom Jordan episode. So, but yeah, anyways, we've rambled on for about 15 minutes.
Yes, time to wrap it up. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, everyone, if you're brave enough, Kindergarten Cop 2, Samurai Cop, double feature, impress a girl or a guy. You want to impress them with your movie knowledge and taste, maybe you should fire this one up. If she stays, or he stays, or they stay, probably a keeper. If they leave, just finish watching the fucking movie and enjoy it. Fuck them. So,
Bazinga, motherfucker.
Yeah, my uncle on my mom's side told me one time that his favorite movie is Quest for Fire. Do you know that one? It's a caveman movie. It's Ron Perlman in it. It's like early, maybe late 70s. So he took a date there and she walked out halfway through the movie and he said, fuck her. He just stayed and watched it. It's his favorite movie. He tells me about it all the time. That's like the kind of integrity that's missing nowadays. You know?
So does that mean my favorite movie has to be Super Mario Brothers?
And man, if it is, you embrace that shit. You know, they're releasing it in 4K in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. You on?
Well, fuck yeah. I'll go fucking IMAX on that shit.
I don't know if it's IMAX print, so it might not work.
No, it's not. No, film from that day. No, none of that is. They have to seriously do upgrades to make, like, for example, when episode 1 came out in IMAX and 3D, they had to resize the digital negative.
Right.
And then they had to remaster it so it didn't look like garbage. And that's a fucking missed opportunity. And I am so fucking mad that, like, the fucking 3D film market basically did the same fucking thing that VHS did to episodes 2 and 3. So it's like you could barely find a VHS copy of episodes 2 and 3. And Lucasfilm started releasing. They released episodes 4, 5, and 6 in 3D. And they released episode 1 in 3D. But then the 3D fad fell off on that one. And then they didn't release any more.
Right.
And it's like, you cocksuckers.
I find it weird that Asheville doesn't have any IMAX theaters. Like, the closest one to us is actually in South Carolina. Like,
wow.
Yeah, probably like 90 to 100 minutes away. Yeah.
You should open.
With what money, dude?
I mean, fuck, man. Get a small business loan.
Those are over now. Yeah. So
yeah, right.
But anyway, so we rambled on, but if anybody has a copy of Samurai Cop on VHS, post a picture of that shit in the comments. Let's see it.
Yeah, and maybe he'll buy it from you.
I'm not really into the VHS collectors market, but I do know a guy who is, and he might be interested in something like that. So
yeah, I might know a guy who might be too.
Yeah.
So for next time, Remo Williams, the saga begins, or whatever, the story begins.
Yeah.
And Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yes. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is a Chad Barnwell recommendation. So if you got issues with the movie, Chad's the man you need to bitch out. So
God damn it, Chad. Just because you gave me Metallica figures doesn't mean no, I'm kidding.
No, I haven't watched it. It's quite something.
Okay. I'll get on that.
I think it's on YouTube only. It's like that. It's like that obscure of a movie where I think it's just a YouTube one. So,
all right. So, as always, the Metal Forge is every Friday, usually by 6 a.m. The first Tuesday of each month is the ALEHORN with Jason Gardner and guests. The third Tuesday of the month is the Mudhorn, which is where you're at right now. The second Saturday of each month is Unsleeved with my partner here, Jason Gardner. And the fourth Saturday of the month is the Metal Forge Unsleeved.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that all from memory.
Yeah, man, no script. That's pretty good, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm getting there. Flamekeeper.vip. Get your fix. $1, $2, $5. You get exclusive content, discounts on shows, merch from the Temptations Wings camp and the Overload camp and the Metal Forge, and all of the Flamekeeper stuff. You get a 25% discount on t-shirts for the Metal Forge currently, and maybe Overload shirts too. Who knows? You might try that code there. Might work too. I don't know. So yeah, Jason, what do you got?
Big Goddamn Metal Show and Steel and Stone on sale now.
Absolutely. SteelStoneFest.com, MetalForgeRadio.com, Flamekeeper.vip. I just turned into radio guy there for a minute.
That's fine. I thought it was like just a what you call it, a alternate personality came through or something.
Yeah, you know, where it's like Handsome Dan and Mr. Scream in fucking Wayne's World 2, and fucking Jefferson. Oh fuck, what's his name?
Dude, it's been a long time since I watched Wayne's World 2 or 1.
Oh god, Jefferson Darcy from fucking can't think of his, yeah, I can't think of the real guy, the actor's name. But anyways, he's in there and he comes out and he's talking to him, and they're like, "Thanks, Handsome Dan," and he goes, "I'm not Handsome Dan." And then fucking Harry Shearer comes out, and he's fucking like Jerry curled in a sweatsuit, all fucking hunkered over. He looks like Mole Man from The Simpsons,
right?
And he's like, "Hey, Wayne, Garth," and he's like, "Oh, hey, Dansome Han."
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched those movies, especially 2. But yeah.
Oh, dude, they're still so classic.
Yeah.
Fat Ozzy in Wayne's World 2.
Dude, I don't even remember. Was he in that, really?
Fat Ozzy was in that, yes. It's Chris Farley crying on the stage where he's got the fucking hair that's coming down over his fucking ears and shit like this. And he's got the fucking round fucking glasses like Ozzy always wears. And he's like, "Arr!" So, and he looks like a fat Ozzy in it.
Gotcha.
And that's where he's like, "I got no place else to go."
The only cameo I remember Ozzy being in a movie, it was that Adam Sandler one, Little Nicky.
Little Nicky, yeah.
So was he in Airheads also? Or was that, I know Lemmy was, but I don't remember.
Lemmy was in Airheads. One of the so Kurt Loder is in Airheads. Who else is in there? I think Stuttering John is the one who is I used to masturbate constantly. I think that was Stuttering John. And the other dude, the black dude, is from I can't remember what he's from. He's not from Living Color, but he's like he might be from like Public Enemy, actually.
Chuck D?
No, he's the guy who's like, "I played D&D too." That guy.
Flavor Flav?
No, God, no. I can't think of his name. No, Flavor Flav's not in it.
Okay, I'm about to say.
But you know, there's like this fucking weird thing now. Like, I can't find the other version anymore for some reason of Born to Raise Hell from that movie.
I don't know.
Because you know that one is the different one. The one from the movie actually has Ice-T and Whitfield Crane on the song. The one that's actually on the Motorhead album is only Lemmy.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a different version.
Yep. So that's a pretty cool thing too.
It makes sense though, because they used to do that kind of shit to like sell the soundtrack album. They had like different versions. That's why you'd buy it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I kind of miss those days when soundtracks were like actually kind of a big deal. Now it's just like
soundtracks, even still.
Now it's just like what's the last soundtrack you bought that you were excited about, you know?
Really? So I did buy episodes 7, 8, and 9 soundtrack.
Right.
Because it's Star Wars music.
I'm not really talking about like score soundtracks. I'm talking about like artists who contributed song soundtracks.
Probably. Well,
like Last Action Hero, etc. Stuff like that.
Okay, so I have bought a couple of soundtracks. Newest would be Awesome Mix Volume 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Guardians of the Galaxy. Just because, you know, I played basic white bitch and got caught up in the hype with all the old music. And I love like my classic rock station that plays 60s and 70s music, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s stuff. That they sneak the occasional Enter Sandman and Smells Like Teen Spirit in.
Can I say something about basic white bitch, the term? So my wife made basic white bitch muffins last night. It was pumpkin spice. But she wrote it as basic white bitch.
I like pumpkin spice stuff. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
I do. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I do.
I mean, each their own.
I mean, I always have though. I mean, I've like it honestly, favorite dessert is between two things. Carrot cake.
Carrot cake's good.
Because pumpkin spice is in carrot cake.
Mm-hmm.
And pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving.
Right.
Sans whipped cream. No fucking whipped cream at all on there.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, the way I
will eat it on there.
I hide the pie in the whipped cream. Like I'll get a slice and I'll just like fucking 3D that shit until I can't see any pumpkin pie until I stick my fork in it and eat it. And then I can see
it. And I will also say too, sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
Is because it tastes like pumpkin pie to me. I mean, they taste the same.
They kind of do, but I hate the texture of sweet potatoes. So
they're almost the same. I know because of the texture of sweet potatoes, you do get that one like string in there.
Yeah.
I get it.
Real quick about soundtracks before we wrap it up. So the movie Death Metal that's on Tubi that I mentioned to you a while ago that I need to watch. Mm-hmm. Fellow Metal Forge alumni Incantation is actually on that soundtrack.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's actually how I found out about the movie is because they promoted it. So.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely love.
So I need to check that out.
Love John. He's such a good dude.
So
like, dude,
go ahead.
No, what's up?
Because I find I like watching movies where people play instruments because I like watching to see how real it looks. Like the Dolph Lundgren one we did, the command performance was that reason because I wanted to see how convincing Dolph looked as a drummer, and then found out that he is actually a drummer because I was like, that actually looks pretty fucking realistic. And then to find out that he knew what he was doing, so I was like, okay, that's why. But there's some movies like Lords of Chaos, for instance, where they just hire these actors that have no idea what they're doing.
There's some movies I like to watch, like Quebec Magnetic.
One where they only have the camera on Lars when he does something right. So like anytime he's playing double bass, it's never on there.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that like anything that they do is so high tech now that like fucking dude, so fucking bad.
Read the article that I sent you, like the whole thing. It's actually the way I feel about it. And they actually do mention the video where someone had a phone camera video of one being played and the double bass was just all fucking out of whack and not right. And then they have the other video where it's like the studio edit, official edit, where it's like pristine. So
well, but you also got to look at that too as, and I'm not defending Metallica when I say this. You've got to look at it too as you're in an arena, you're gonna hear multiple angles and reflections of sound. Especially because they're playing in a center stage.
It really depends where the guy was standing taking the picture from.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're down front, yeah, you might not hear it the same way. You'll get the stage volume, but if you're on the third mezzanine, you're gonna hear a delay in sound. There's gonna be latency. And does sound off.
The video that was taken was from on the floor.
Okay. Because when I saw them at Busch Stadium, it was pretty well off from the lighting.
Right.
Because of the latency. And I was in like the far stretch of fucking the field in center field.
Gotcha.
Up in the very top.
Right.
in like the 300 section.
The bargain tickets, $180.
No, yeah, bargain tickets are $180. Yeah.
I did some math earlier. Like someone was saying that the average 2-day ticket was like $380, and the show in Texas holds 100,000 people. So I was like, well, okay. So I did the math.
Is it at AT&T Stadium?
Yeah, because the way they have the stage,
it actually holds 104.
Well, the way they have the stage in the middle, they can have 100,000 people in there because they have all the seats open all the way around. So I did the math real quick, just basically, if you just took 380 is the average ticket price. I know it varies from floor to top, but if you took the average ticket 380, times that by 100,000, it was like 380 million or $3,800,000 that they made off one show, one night.
Right.
Well, actually 2 nights, because most of them were 2-night tickets. So
right, but I mean, yeah, but you got to times that by 2 because of it's 2 nights. But
no, because the 2-night tickets were 380, so that would actually be both nights. So you figure that made $3,800,000 for 2 shows, one setup.
Yeah. So they made it $3.8 million on Friday, $3.8 million on Sunday.
No. Buy 2 tickets is $380 for both nights.
Oh,
so
okay.
100,000 people. Yeah.
Okay. I thought 380 was the split for the ticket cost.
No.
Okay.
That's just average. That was just like on average ticket. Like the
okay. But in the grand scheme of things, you've really got to look at everything that's going on. Did they really make money on that show?
Well, they had the theaters too.
Well, but did they really make money on that show?
They're not going to go out if they don't make money. Their manager's too fucking greedy. Like their manager's going to get fucking paid. So.
Because I guarantee they rented that house for at least $1 million.
Yeah.
For both nights. Okay, so $500,000.
I don't know, man, because like there's economic incentive from like cities and stuff to have that tourism dollars too.
Yeah, especially when you're really getting into that level. But that's a whole other episode, and we probably should cut this. And if we don't cut this here, we'll keep going, and which is cool, and we can, but maybe for the Patreon subscribers.
Yeah, we'll get back to 0. We're back at 0. So anyway, guys, okay, so that was a little bit of ALEHORN spilling over into the Mudhorn, but join us next month when Wrestling Steve is joining us, and we talk about best and worst movies with wrestlers in it. That should be pretty fun.
That is going to be amazing, and I am so excited for that.
But yeah, that's a September episode of Mudhorn. So
yeah, and look for another episode of Mark Talk. That's a thing that I'm doing as well. It's a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, so join the Patreon. Like I said, any tier gets you exclusive videos and early access. So, all right, guys, well, we're going to wrap it up there. Hope you all have been well. Hope you all will stay well. And, remember, if she leaves in the middle of this double feature, or they leave, or he leaves, they're probably not worth the time.
Yeah. Metal every day, everybody. Thank you.
Yes. All right, Mark. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory to rock school, Weekend Warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana. The year was 1979, and all the world was caught up in disco and Star Wars. But in Louisville, something was happening. A young entrepreneur named Ben had a vision to be the best record store in all of the city. Fast forward to 2023, and Better Days Records is still going strong. Still, after all these years, owned by the same guy. We have had some trips and falls along the way, but so does life, and Better Days is here to stay. With 2 awesome locations at 921 Barrett Avenue and at 2600 West Broadway, Better Days are surely in your future.